Hey guys, what is up? Happy 24.3. Here we are. We've already made it last week of the Open. 24.3 just got announced. It is 5 rounds or 15-minute time cap, 5 rounds, 10 thrusters, 10 chest to bars, rest 1 minute and do 7 thrusters, 7 bar muscle ups. Scaled for the workout is a little bit lighter on the barbell, jumping chest to bar pull-ups for the entire time. So stay tuned for standards on that. Obviously, warm-up wise, hips, hamstrings, shoulders, get everything nice and open, prime that motor a little bit, get the legs firing, and then we'll get after this thing. Couple things, just finished the workout. It is 12:30 right now. So just got done, full disclosure. Like we talked about the other week, I've been dealing with a knee thing. I've also been dealing with a weird wrist thing. Me and Tia Toomey, we're one and the same. With that being said, bar muscle ups just aren't in the cards. Tried to warm them up a little bit, hurt, but I still wanted to do the first 5 rounds, rest a minute, and then do a set of the thrusters at the 135 just to see how it felt. Obviously, the first 5 rounds, pretty spicy. I tried to just kind of move in a moderate space, knowing that I would only get a minute rest and I'd have to go in that 135-pound thruster. Thruster actually felt okay. I did all 7. That's going to kind of depend on where you're at. For those of you guys that might not have bar muscle ups, or maybe you might think you might be able to get one, but you're not sure how many you get, there is a tie break time at the end of the first 5 rounds. So I would suggest sending it on that first 5 rounds, right? Doing your 7 thrusters at 135, and then you can spend the rest of the time trying to get those 7 bar muscle ups. But remember, one of the keys is going to be that tie break time. So those first 5 rounds, there's no point in saving a bunch of energy because you have 15 minutes. So if you get through that, say, in 7 minutes, you have 7 more minutes. Well, after the minute rest, you would have 6 minutes to do the 135 thrusters and then your bar muscle ups attempts. So have a lot of fun, guys. Hope to see everyone on Friday night. Let's end the 2024 Open with some great juice and some great energy. And thank you so much. You guys have been doing awesome. Let's keep it up. One more week. Thank you. Deuces.
All right, guys, so 24.3, here we are last week. This is not a back burner, unfortunately. So if you've made it through this far, we're actually going to focus on a lot of shoulder positions today. So Stacy's going to grab the barbell. She's going to show us what we call a pre-test front rack position. Most times when people come into here, this is going to be the killer for this workout. You got to be able to hold that position for about 85 reps if you make it to the end. So if this starts to fail on you, you're failing the thruster and stuff like that. So keep the elbows nice and high. Probably feel a little stiff. So the way we work around that is come down. We're going to do a couple banded stuff here to unlock that position so that elbow can come forward. We're going to come over here and then we're going to open up the shoulder joint. So if we come over here, you can see a lot of the restrictions from that front rack position is because of lat muscles here and then the teres major. It's a little tight. So Stacy, I want to have you push down. Nice big contraction. Not all the way. Right there is fine for 7 seconds. And then relax and let the band do the work for you. Let it stretch this angle here. This angle should continue to open up. It's going to give you more position and freedom to get to that front rack space. Is that feeling like a stretch?
Yes.
Okay, good. And breathe in this new position. And relax. Let's do a couple more times. So push down into it. Hold for about 7 seconds. It doesn't have to be that hard. Right there is good. And relax. Good. And she should get more and more range of motion through here. Good. Come out of there. Another one just to increase that position is come into here. Get the elbows underneath the band. Yep. Make sure the hand is on the outside of the band here. We're going to, again, work on this position. If you kind of come from an angle from here, you want to make sure your hands and elbows are not inside like that. You want to make sure that they're going like this, or where the elbows come closer and the hand goes away. Hold that position there. Also push down into it for about 7 seconds. And once you finish the 7 seconds, you're going to relax, let the band stretch you. Make sure you keep the rib cage down and breathe. Good. And we'll do that 3 times as well. So come out of there. And let's go back to the barbell and see if that front rack position has improved. Hopefully Stacy's left shoulder is a little bit higher than the right one. Yeah, and so we see some changes here just from doing the banded work. Again, you're going to do 3 sets of those to make sure we keep this front rack position high. Anytime the elbow starts to fall and that barbell is going to start to roll forward, you're going to lose the thruster, and we don't want to do that. So come out of there. Good. Next thing we want to work on is a chest to bar. So anything that brings a chest to the bar, we want to make sure that our chest actually touches the bar, obviously. Problem with this is people come here and then their shoulders roll forward, and then when you start to roll forward, like then you give a little concave, you don't really hit that position well. So you want to make sure we work on this position here, the scapula retracted. This exercise here is going to help out with that. So I'm going to come on this side. So again, looking at her shoulder here, this is a bad position to be in. If you can imagine a bar sitting right here, you don't want that elbow to come, shoulder to come forward as the chest. So retract that back now. We're going to use this band here. We're going to do 10 repetitions. You're going to push into it like a bench press. Good. Hold for about 3 seconds, and then come out of there and retract the shoulder blade back here. This is the key ingredient to make sure you can come up to that bar every single time and not get no rep, right? So retract that scapula back, all the way back here. Go a couple more times for me, Stace. Push 3 seconds, and then relax and retract and squeeze. That's the money maker right there. You want to be able to use that to complete each chest to bar, okay? Good. And you can do that on both sides to help you out. Now, for shoulder activation purposes, once we unlock some range of motion, we want to make sure we can activate the muscles in the new position. So Stacy's going to do this banded face pull. So she's going to pull, come into a front rack position that we just worked on, and then press up overhead. This opens up a lot of the scapular muscles in the shoulder here. This is the base of the shoulder. If this scapula is not moving like it should, this glenohumeral joint starts to take a lot of the hit. So keep going for me, Stace. You're going to do about 2 sets of 10 here. Drive it up, press up overhead. Good. Nice, big pull. Get the elbows underneath. Nice. You'll start to feel a burn in your shoulders. That's a good thing. Good. Pull, and then press up overhead. Nice. Another shoulder primer that we're going to do. We're going to get one of these red bands, double loop it. We'll just go through the whole progression. Good. You're going to face the camera there, pin your shoulder blades back, palms facing up. Let's go 5 on one side first. Good. Keep the elbows inside. You never want to let the elbows start to flare. Again, keep the elbows on the inside of the hands. Good.
It's already burning.
Yeah, you're going to start to feel a little burn in your shoulders, and that's not how we know we're doing it right. Good. Now I want to come up to this front rack position because it's a new position we just gained. Make sure the elbow stays inside of the hands. Good. So again, we're just doing 5 on each side. What's hard about this one is as that one's moving, this guy's got to stabilize. So make sure that both sides are working hard. Good. Now, we're going to come here and we're going to pull the band apart, pin those shoulder blades back, and come all the way up overhead to complete the last part. Good. Come all the way up to the top. Make sure you keep that rib cage down. And do that 5 times. So let's do all 5 here. Okay, 3, 2 more, 4, last one, and 5. Good. So again, a recap of those 3. You're going to do 5 and 5, 5 and 5, and then 5 up overhead for 2 rounds. This should get your shoulders primed and ready to do a thruster. So let's come underneath here. Let's show how to do a thruster. So when you grab it off the ground there, come overhead. We have that new front rack position. Obviously, we only worked on one side, so this one's way better. So that's why we always recommend do both sides before you get into it. Now, key thing with thrusters, what we say is pace yourself through breathing. So you're going to inhale on the way down, and then exhale on the way up when you drive it up. Good. And then inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Good. One thing I always tell people is make sure when you're pushing off the ground here, we have full foot pressure. Don't just come onto the toes only. Drive most of the way as much as you can. And the last bit, when we get to that extension, then you can start to come onto the toes. Good. Come back down again. And drive it up overhead. Perfect. All right, guys. The only thing that we have concerns about this one is probably shoulder injuries. Because if you get to the muscle ups, it's going to be just taxing on your shoulders. So you have to really make sure you retract the scapula back here. This is the powerhouse of the shoulders, like the glutes of the lower extremity. So really strengthen this guy as much as you can. Again, no back injuries. If you have any injuries with the back, you have other problems. So we don't want to go into that. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with us. We have 24.3 in the books. Go out there and have fun. Don't injure yourself. See you next time.